All right. Well, we're back. So hopefully you've been able to switch over. And hey, we're still a little, aren't we? So
Just a little.
okay. So hopefully you can tune in, and we'll try again. We're having some internet problems here at Good Shepherd. So if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, and tune in next week.
Technology be technology.
So welcome Tuesday Night Live, episode 2. We're back. Sort of. We'll see how long this goes. So enjoy. Thanks again, Dawn, for getting our sound right. We presume it's still right. We checked. We got the 5 minutes of recording that we had before, and it sounded great. So
as far as quality, we're good.
Great.
So for you that might be watching this for the first time, tonight's topic is
reconciliation. So welcome back. And the reason that we're talking about reconciliation is that, hey, I didn't introduce myself, by the way. I'm Father Kent O'Connor, pastor here at Good Shepherd.
Michael Sheeran, a parishioner. Yeah.
All right. So the reason that we're talking about reconciliation is we have our reconciliation service, our parish reconciliation service. What Johnson County does, I don't know if you know this, but Johnson County has different services throughout the week, and every parish hosts the reconciliation, and priests come from all over, so that you have the opportunity to go to whomever you would like to confess to that is there. And our turn to do that is next Tuesday, April 9th. And I thought we'd...
What time?
7 o'clock, which means, here's the other thing, which means I've worked this out, that we're going to still be able to do Tuesday Night Live. It might be a little bit later next week, hopefully not this late as 9 o'clock as it is, but it might be a little bit later, and it might be a little bit earlier. But we've got a special guest coming, Father Andrew Strobel, who is the pastor of St. John Paul II Parish, the newest parish of the diocese. He'll be here next week.
Rock star.
Yep, he's awesome. He is awesome, and he will say awesome. And maybe you
awesome.
Can. Yes. And he's going to talk about a few things. He's going to be talking about evangelization, and it's going to be a conversation again. Evangelization. He's going to talk about what it means to run a parish and what he's learned there. And he's one of my tabletop gaming friends, and he has a channel as well. I'll post a link maybe of how he paints his little minis. It's a YouTube channel called Crafts and Minis, and he never appears, just his hands appears, and he's got this great hobby of painting these little miniatures. And so it's kind of those 3 little things he's going to talk about: evangelization and his parish, and the miniatures and little hobbies.
Priestly
hobbies. So that's kind of the topic for next week. So tune in next week, and hopefully there won't be any internet issues. But that's not the topic for this week, is it? Nope. We're talking about reconciliation.
Forgive us. We're going to talk about forgiveness.
Very good. So, so it's a beautiful sacrament. I think sometimes people have a little bit of a fear of the sacrament. Now, you were talking before on our last video. You were talking about, you used this great little image of the archery term.
Yeah. So,
you want to share that?
When the word sin is actually used in archery, and it's identified as a near miss. And oftentimes, when I'm just speaking for myself here, I find myself pursuing holiness as best as anyone can, but you might be having this wonderful time. I'm driving down the road, and all of a sudden somebody pulls out in front of you, and that pursuit of holiness. Maybe I'm even praying the rosary in the car. You never know. Praying for somebody that's sick. It could be wonderful, and then all of a sudden I'm like, "What the heck is going on?" And it's a near miss. It's a near miss. I was pursuing holiness.
Yep.
But near miss.
Yep.
But then on other occasions, I might have a whopping gigantic, there's holiness, and I'm aiming the exact opposite way.
Right.
And I think that's the human condition. We want happiness. We want joy. And the more connected with God that we are, the better that flow of happiness and flow of joy actually comes to us. And so in reconciliation, this is essentially the tube of grace, the invisible tube of grace that is flowing to you. This is the cleaning of that tube and saying all those little sins that got in the way and kind of distorted your view and your relationship with God. Let's just clear that out. Let's just start fresh. And it's also the most effective diet in history, which was my joke that I used when I first started.
Very good.
Yes. You shed spiritual weight like that.
Right, the bad spiritual weight.
Yeah.
Okay, so great. So good. So again, we are on Tuesday Night Live, and the idea is, until we cut out again by bad video or bad
Who
internet
knows? Who
stuff,
knows? So far, we're
is
good.
the idea is you can actually type in your questions, and hopefully we can respond to those questions. So if you have any questions about reconciliation, it can be a scary sacrament for some, especially if you're not used to going to the sacrament. I use the analogy sometimes about I talk about reconciliation being kind of like going to the dentist. You know, I don't necessarily really look forward to going to the dentist, but once I go to the dentist and once I have my teeth clean, I'm like, oh, I feel so much better. My